What I learned investing in 100 companies as an angel investor. What were the biggest reasons the companies struggled? One of the biggest reasons I think is people, and these are the early companies that I did like 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. So I wasn't that great at this, right? I was a beginner in that kind of investing myself. So when the founders were spending money on things that they didn't need, you know, fancy tables, fancy chairs, going places, going to conventions, just squandering the money like it wasn't theirs, but the money was theirs. Once we, as an angel investor or a mentor or a founder, you know, whatever, we give them that money, it's theirs for a percentage. That money is theirs. It's their companies. They own the majority of it. It should be like guarding it and spending it like it's their own money. So that was one of the things that I found that people were lacking in. What's the next thing? Some of these guys were thinking they were entrepreneurs when they went straight from working for somebody in a successful company and then starting their own. They just thought, you know what? I'm going to have to do the same things that I did in my previous company. No, once you become the CEO, you're in charge of everything, from the insurance of the building you're in, if it's a leased building, to the water bills, everything. I mean, all the nitty-gritties. Yeah, once you get a bit big, you can have a secretary, but generally starting somebody who's an entrepreneur and a CEO and, you know, who's just starting up in a startup or even any kind of small business has to do everything. You know, what I look for now is, has the person got grit? And can they adapt to change? And will they get things out of the door fast? Yeah? So by grit, if things are going wrong, will they just quit and just think, oh no, I can't do this? Next, you know, if they're doing something, and a lot of the time I see people fail in all of, you know, the businesses I've done, the businesses I do, even the game studio I run, is when they come up with something and they don't get it to the customer. You know, if we make a game and we don't get it in front of the customers and we think this is how the customer is going to behave, you know, players are going to behave, they don't behave anything like we guessed until we do it and we see feedback. And it's the same in the sales and lots of other things. I've seen loads of businesses where the entrepreneurs presume this is what's going to happen, and that's not what happens. And you know how to discover this? Don't take a load of money or even your own money and then go and make something and keep on making it and think, I'm going to release it when it's perfect. One of my family calls it analysis paralysis, and he's got that somewhere off the internet. And it's when people are constantly just looking, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and they never get anything done, or they build a product and they're trying to make it perfect. I was even speaking to a guy yesterday who's launching a fund, and he was even saying one of his major things is that when he's going to invest in somebody, he wants people who can take some investment, do a small prototype, get it out the door, and then be like, okay, what can we do to this to make it better? And then be moving on that instead of like, you know, 6 months later, we'll get something out of the door. And that's how businesses die, because they've spent all the money. If you get something out of the door in a month or 2 or 3, then you've got a few more months to look at how you could improve it. And if it starts going the right direction, you might be able to get more money. What's the advantage of taking an angel's money over the bank's? Well, you know, if you're perfect at everything and you know what you're doing and you think you can make it work on your own, just use your own money. But then you lose your own money, right? Or the bank's money, and then you owe them something like your car, your house, or whatever. Taking an angel's money means they're taking the risk with you. Yeah, so what would I offer a company as well as money? So, as well as offering somebody money, I offer them my time. Yeah, it depends if they want it. If they're sure that they are really interested in making that business succeed, I will give a lot of my people I've invested into free time. And my time is valuable, let me tell you, as in I want my free time. But I love helping people so much that when I discover somebody who's like, okay, invest and help me grow it, and if they're putting in mega effort, I'm like, I get excited. And I always tell them this, right? I'm like, look, we're not making any money now. Even if it's failing, we might make money on the next thing. And you might think, that's weird. Why do you want to give them money or help them again once they failed? They might have failed not because they were no good at it. They just didn't fit that product, or it's not the right time, or they're too early for that thing, or, you know, multiple other factors can go wrong. An entrepreneur who wants it really bad will keep on going. I will keep on helping them. And I say this to my mentees all the time. And I call a lot of them bro. Like, bro, we will make money in the future, and I will make money in the future. So I don't worry that, no, I'm not making some money in the short term. So they know, yes, Shaz is motivated by money and he is going to make it in the future. And then I know that we're on a level that they understand, right? Yeah, Shaz is a businessman. He's going to help me loads. We're both going to have a better life. And even in, you know, some of the businesses that I've heavily invested in, or I'm like major shareholder in, or majority shareholder in, I even do it like this, that the CEO or the founder gets a decent salary, which goes up with time as a bonus. And then I only really make money if the business takes off. So that founder is getting good salary, bills paid, as long as it's working. Well, a decent salary when it's working, then a better salary when it's going great, and they make more money. And then the end, what ends up happening is they always just about taking out more money of the business than I am. And then that, even if I'm the majority shareholder or nearly 50-50 or just under, they never feel, wow, I'm doing all of this and he's taking the majority of the money. I just like working like that. I feel like it's a really great relationship. It shows the other person, wow, he's willing to take less when it's really going well. I probably got into angel investing because I'm like one of those guys that sees like shiny thing syndrome, like, oh, that's great. Oh, I'm gonna miss out on that. So instead of like starting 20 million things, I let other people start 20 million things and I help them. So I get the buzz of, oh yes, I'm involved in that. I get the buzz of, if I find somebody who's great, who's like me, who wants to talk business all the time instead of parties and just daft stuff that's not helping anybody in the world, and even bad stuff that people do and get into bad habits. I don't want to be doing any of those. I want to be concentrating on making the world better, making people's lives better, and I just get a buzz out of that. Right, guys? Please hit the like button. This will make this spread, and the algorithm likes it. A lot more people will get to watch it. And if you're not subscribed, think about subscribing. Don't die average. I am there for you. I believe in you, and see you next time.